Welcome everyone to Returning to Work Employee Training for a New Environment. I'm Samantha and I'm the Content Director for SAP Litmos, and I'll be co-hosting today with my colleague David Drager, who's the Director of Business Development and Enablement for SAP Litmos. And we'll do a quick overview of the agenda here. This is not going to be a long meeting today. We're gonna jump right in. We've already done the introductions with David and myself, and then this new Adaptivity Academy, which is a really fabulous resource that is the reason for our meeting today. David is going to do a live sort of site tour of that material and show you what's available and how to access it, and then we'll go ahead and take questions. So really straight and to the point today, and let's jump right in. As you can see here, we're just brief overview. We've launched this resource called the new Adaptivity Academy, and this is a site full of free learning content that was designed to help companies as we all continue to navigate through these unprecedented and challenging times. Actually, quite early on, we did launched this site's predecessor, and we called it the Remote Readiness Academy. And that content was designed for companies as they were very first facing the challenge of moving to an all remote work model, which many companies had to do very quickly. Many companies did it very well, maybe even surprised themselves with their own agility and ability to move from what was the old normal to what is now the new normal, and to move employees to a fully online and remote working environment. So we hoped that we were of help with that, and I know probably many of you on this call did use some of the resources that were made available on the Remote Readiness Academy. This new Adaptivity Academy is sort of the next evolution of that original concept, and the new addition is a new series of learning paths that now that we're months into the pandemic, some companies are continuing to face many challenges. Now some of those challenges even being starting to move some portion of the workforce into either shared workspaces again, depending on industry, maybe public facing job functions again. And so what this content that's available on this site is to assist with, is to help companies as they do make that partial return to work, and to help managers manage that with their employees, to help employees navigate new ways of working, and then at the organizational level, just to help organizations sort of manage the whole thing. So we've put these learning paths together to assist as we now enter this next phase of whatever inning we're in this crisis. So as you can see here on the slide, we're offering this content totally free until September 20th of this year. And again, David's going to show you what that content is specifically. And you can get it by going to the URL that's on the slide, litmos.com/remote. It's also available, if you don't want to have to remember that, you can go to litmos.com, and we do have this new Adaptivity Academy readily available in the drop-down navigation. If you go to the resources section of litmos.com, you'll see it available there. So don't worry about having to write down that URL or remember it. It is there and publicly available. So last note before we hand things over to David for the site tour, I would just want to say that all of this content, the current version of it, as well as the original remote readiness site that we built, we really want to offer this and let everyone know that this is really, given that one of Litmos's strengths, in addition to our LMS technology, is the ability to create really engaging and compelling content. We're really offering this as a gift. It's this is not a sales attempt. This is really our way of supporting the community and saying, look, we'll take one of our strengths, which is the ability to create and share content, and just offer it to the learning community for free, whether you're a Litmos customer or not. So we hope you sort of accept our gift. And with that, David, please take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk you through a little bit of the environment, talk a little bit about it, how you can access the courses and so forth. Sam had mentioned This is not sales or anything like that. All that is required to access the site is an email. These email addresses are not verified. We are not doing any tracking or anything like that. Any email, legitimate or not, will let you get access to the site. So it's just a matter of putting in an email and selecting register. And you'll be presented with a log-on sort of welcome message. It'll give just a little bit of basic information, and then we can continue on. So once you log into the system, the courses are already going to be populated for you. They're going to be front and center on your dashboard. You're going to see those listed right here. In order to launch these courses or learning paths, it's just a matter of selecting the tile, and you have the ability to either start, or you can look at any of the courses that are contained within the learning path, and just by selecting any one of those courses, you can start that course itself. You do not have to take these in any particular order. You don't have to take all of them in order to reach additional courses, so you can pick and choose the ones that are most relevant to you. There are 6 of the learning paths, okay, and these are about building your career brand. There's even some LinkedIn modifications that you can make, talking about the future of work, how you would manage returning to the workplace during this time in this pandemic, and so forth. And some personal attitudes, safety, and so forth, and then some general sort of well-being. Each of these learning paths are going to consist of multiple courses. So I believe in all there is somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 45 separate courses that have been made available to you. In addition to accessing the courses, we also have some news features. We have some links. This is to the the WHO. It'll take you directly to their site. You can look at statistics, find additional information regarding the virus and pandemic. Here you can see different maps or particular cases, and then there's also a link for the CDC guidelines. Okay, we can update these periodically if necessary, but that's some additional information that's been conveniently made available to you. We can scroll down a little bit. There's some additional information that we've provided here on the Academy itself, and then some quick tips that are based on CDC guidelines. Additionally, in the event that you want to try Litmos, there is a link here where you can go and get a trial environment just like this one for 14 days, and you can use it and play with it or whatever you want to do. It's very intuitive. It's very easy to access these courses, and they're quite helpful and quite thorough. Sam, we can probably start taking some questions.
Yeah, and we do have a handful already, and I'll start. First question, David, is how many employees is best for optimal use of this product? I'll take my best stab at it, and then you correct me wherever I'm wrong.
Yep.
How many employees is best optimal use for this product? I would say it doesn't matter. I would say you could share this with 5 employees or 5,000. Is that correct, David?
It's much more than that. The application scales really easily. So we have some customers that have 100, 150 employees, even actually fewer than that. We just have a recent new customer. It's one of the largest security training companies in the world, and they provide all sorts of security training, hacking prevention, and that sort of stuff for the largest companies in the world. And they will have in excess of 1 million users using the system, and in excess of 1,000 sub-accounts that are linked. So very small businesses or the largest enterprises can use the application.
Okay, great. Wow, that's impressive. The next question is, boy, we have lots of questions, is can we upload our own content?
Yes, absolutely. The system is compliant with SCORM, AICC, TINCAN/XAPI. So if you have any of those types of courses, you can just automatically upload those. You can actually bring those in through a drag and drop feature. We also have the ability to allow you to create your own content in your own courses. And this can include all the common audio and video formats, documents, PDFs. We have a really robust assessment and survey engines. We have video assessments where you could record yourself performing some particular speech or pitch or performing some particular action. We can link out to other pages. We can embed content from YouTube or something along those lines. There's integration with electronic signatures as well. And that's all out of the box capabilities in addition to bringing in your own content.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next question from another one of our guests today. Are the courses management focused or as well as employee/direct reports combined? I can answer that one off the top of my head and then hand that to David, but I would say there's a bit of both as David was showing in, and we can, if we need to give you specifics into the learning path, there are courses that are for, you know, managing remote workforces and that kind of thing, but there's also, as David was showing, even things just like health and safety in the workplace, which would be, you know, any employee as well as management. There are as David was saying, some of the personal development stuff that could be both, you know, managers as well as any level staff. So I would say it is a decent balance. What would you say to that, David?
Yeah, it's, you know, I'd probably say it's probably 60-40, management 70-30. You know, the idea is to provide additional information on working remotely, making the transition back, managing the team, and then having individuals be able to be informed, be able to make proper decisions safety-wise, respect, social distancing, you know, all that sort of stuff within the workplace itself.
Which I think would be valuable, whether you're both to a manager and to an employee, and even maybe for a manager to use that content in sort of a coaching capacity as well, to navigate how teams are going to interact going forward and what sort of the new rules of engagement are. So some of that could be helpful coaching material if you're not just going to assign it out. Okay, oh, actually, speaking of assigning things out, the next question is, can I assign these courses to other employees that I work with inside of Litmos? Do you understand that question, David? Can I assign these courses to other employees that I work with inside of Litmos?
Well, the way the Academy is set up now, everybody in the Academy is going to have a learner account. They're not going to have admin privileges. But at the same time, anybody can access the account. You know, so as I mentioned, it's just a matter of putting in an email address. Those aren't checked; they're not verified in any way. None of this is tracked at all. It's all essentially anonymous. So anybody can access the courses. It's just a matter of providing them the link.
Oh yeah, now I do understand the context of that. Okay, yeah, great. Okay. So next question is, will these learning paths be migrated into the regular platform at some time in the future?
You know, that is a good question, and I don't know the answer to that, but I will find that answer out, and then we can pass that along to everyone.
Great, and I was even wondering that with the courses from the former site, from the remote readiness site, now that we've transitioned over to the new one, availability of those courses as well. So Terry, thank you very much for that question, and we will follow up with you, because I'm sure that's probably a pretty common question, especially for people who were using the former content as well. So we'll get the answer to that from someone on our content team. Okay, next question. I can see where this is effective in workforce development. Do you have content for academics, communication, teaching tips and tricks?
Yeah, so those specific related courses, we don't have those available. There are other learning type courses that are available in trial environments and so forth. But for the Adaptivity Academy, we have these 6 learning paths, and they each contain 6, 7, or 8 courses.
This is a great suggestion. Thank you, Betsy. I'll read the question out loud, and I'm not sure we're there yet on this one, but our content team will really appreciate your question. But the question is, one of the resources our employees have been asking for are tools for working parents. Big issue right now, right? Oh my goodness, big issue. So resources for working parents who will be balancing work and virtual learning to their kids at home this fall. Have you considered adding content like this to the site or to the Litmos library for those with Litmos accounts? Again, Betsy, I'll let David address that, but I don't know that we do, but again, our content team will really appreciate that suggestion, because talk about a hot topic, talk about a relevant topic. So David, do you know anything about that from anyone on the content side?
Yeah, I do not know specifically, but I do know that is probably something that I would like to take, as I have my 2 little ones locked up in the bedroom, so they're not making any noise at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know people on our team, just even on the Litmos marketing team, have really taken the challenge on, and my goodness, what an additional challenge it is. So great suggestion. Thank you for that comment. Okay, next question is, are the workplace return learning paths available? Oh, I think this is similar. I think we kind of already covered this, but David, correct me if I'm wrong, but are the workplace return to learning paths available in the Litmos product that we're already subscribers of?
I don't believe that these are part of the content library that is available to all customers. I believe these were specially created, but we will look and see if we can have these made available to everyone.
Okay, I'm going to skip ahead to a question from Sabrina. This may be similar as well, but we use Litmos inside of ADP, our great partnership with ADP, thank you. We use Litmos inside of ADP, so it sounds like our users can use the Adaptivity Academy but cannot track progress. Is there a way to import completions into our current implementation of Litmos?
That's probably not really something that we'd be able to do, because that's going to require some sort of integration between the Adaptivity site and your company's site. Individuals, they can see their own progress, and they can see the percentage of completion and so forth. But because this has just been made as some helpful learning content, it has been designed so we're not tracking it or anything like that. So because everyone is a learner in the account, it's not really made to be tracked.
Okay. And just to acknowledge some of the comments, Adam, Jeremy, others, yes, we will include you on the list of people that we follow up on as far as your own Litmos instance. So your comments have been seen, and we will certainly follow up with you. Next question outside of that category is, David, what's the average length for one of the courses?
The individual courses, they vary somewhat in length. I don't believe there's any course that exceeds 20 minutes. I think they're all more in the 5-minute range. So I would say that each of the learning paths are probably in the 30-minute range, possibly up to an hour. But I think it's more in the half hour for each of the learning paths.
Great. And again, just to acknowledge some of the feedback that's coming through, that Betsy, who made the suggestion that there's some forthcoming content on managing having the kids at home and balancing the workplace with the family environment, that's received a flurry of yeses. So I think we may need to communicate that with the content team, David, and make sure that went, and for yourself as well. But that's received some support. So glad to hear it. We always need to hear what's going on out there with our wonderful customers. So I think as we approach, we're just approaching the limit here. I think we had set this for 30 minutes. So again, all of you who have asked questions and made comments, we will follow up if they weren't directly addressed here, and we will save this chat log and make sure that you do receive any answers that we weren't able to answer live. So I think that is it. Last chance. Thank you all. Oh, wait, here we go. We do have one. Okay, thank you, Carla. Okay, last question, David, just in the last 2 minutes that we have.
Sure.
Will there be a course on, I can take a first stab on this. Will there be a course on mental wellness during COVID, including stress-related courses? And I can go ahead and answer at first, and then let David, again, always correct me when I'm wrong. We did just release in our last release a set of courses on mindfulness and stress management. And what you may want to do, Carla, is if you go to the Litmos blog right now, if you go to litmos.com/blog, we just did a blog article sort of talking about that learning path that's been released. It was released under the umbrella of mindfulness, but it may be close to what you're looking for if you're talking about stress related things during this pandemic. That may be helpful. If it's not exactly what you're looking for, then please send us a note and let us know if there's if there's more specific type content that you'd love to see developed. But as a starting point, I would take a look at those mindfulness courses that were just released. David, do you have any follow-up on that?
Yeah, I'll just say in the final learning path, the well-being for a better working life. Here's managing mental health in the workplace. De-stressing, emotional intelligence, stress management, and so forth. So I think those are some of the courses that were requested from that question.
Yeah, and I think we had a decent amount of prior content on related courses as well. Now, of course, that wouldn't have been within the context of COVID, but it's certainly a topic that we do cover and that we consider to be very, very important. Well, thank you, everyone. We've officially, the clock has turned. So David, thank you so much for just guiding us through the actual site. And thank you so much, everyone, for all of your interaction. It's so great to hear from you. And during these all virtual times when we don't get to see you in person at our customer conferences and events, great to hear from you across these digital platforms. And I think that's it for today. Thanks, everyone, and stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you all.